So, welcome back everyone to yet another episode of the Forest Career Mode, and this one we're going to be making basically just signings for the upcoming season, 5th season now, 5 seasons into the future in the year 2023, and yes, as you can see on screen, we're not going to play it, but we have Ajax in the pre-season friendly tournament, which we all know the history of Ajax now, and Real Betis and Atalanta, so an interesting group there, but that's not a priority at all. This video is going to be basically making a load of signings, like I said, and maybe playing the first game of the season. We probably will. I don't even know if we've got yet. And one more thing to say, it isn't ideal this, but I'm having to record this episode before the previous one was uploaded. So, yeah, that isn't ideal. So, basically, your comments in that video for players to sign are kind of irrelevant. So, it doesn't really make any sense. Unless I have money left at the end of this one, I kind of can't really do anything with your suggestions. So, yeah, it's not ideal. I'm sorry about that, but it's just how it is, unfortunately. So, I'll quickly run over what I think we should do in this episode in terms of transfers. If we're getting offer for Carvalho, we'll use that money to make his replacement, and I've got 3 players on the radar. One of them in particular I'd like to try and sign. Most of them, I can't remember who they all are, to be quite honest, but I know that 2 of them were suggested in the comments. But if we do get an offer for João, we will sell. It was the title of the last video. We definitely need to get a new striker to help out Haaland, because he can't do it all on his own. And I think we definitely need to get a centre-back. By the way, we have 84 million in the budget, so we can afford to sign at least 2 really good players with that, in my opinion. I've got my eye on a centre-back and a striker. They're the 2 critical positions I feel we need to improve. Mings will have to get dropped out, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. So Carvalho could get replaced, and I doubt we will have enough, but maybe upgrade Nick Pope. Maybe, but that isn't crucial. Alright then, so my shortlist. I took you through this before, but these are the players I've got my eye on. Konate, Zagadou, Pavard. He is the one I think we should go for, because look, I think he is the cheapest. Actually, no, Zagadou is actually the cheapest technically, but I'd personally prefer Pavard. We tried to go for Longley, but we couldn't afford him, and now we definitely can't really afford him now. Pavard, I've used him before in FIFA. You know, he came on the scene at the World Cup in 2018, so yeah, I think we should definitely go for Pavard. If not, Zagadou. He will cost a little bit less, but nothing major. Semedo's still on the shortlist, but I can't really see the point in signing him now. But I think we should have done it if we're going to get him. And these are my 3 wingers that we may go for if we lose Carvalho. Hudson-Odoi, Sessegnon, and Kubo. Now, all 3 would be brilliant. I'd love any of them. But personally, I'd prefer to go for Hudson-Odoi. The cheapest would be Kubo, then Hudson, then Sessegnon. It's quite interesting, really, isn't it? Sessegnon's actually the most expensive. I would personally like to go for Hudson-Odoi, and maybe we could get him anyway, even if we still have Carvalho, but it does mean that Bowen will have to get dropped out of the team completely. And my 2 strikers, Arap, but we're going to have to wait like a month before we get any information on him, which could be quite a big factor whether we sign him or not. And Tammy Abraham, 32 to 44 million, 84 overall. If it's going to be a backup striker, or at least another striker, that would be bloody brilliant. So no one suggested Abraham, but I think he could be a really good option. Fantastic option. But let's go for the area we need to improve the most. I'm going to make an offer for Benjamin Pavard. Now, I think one of you in the comments has said in the past, go for Pavard. Probably have. And it's someone that I have had my eye on to try and sign in this career mode for quite a while. So it's between 34 and, what is it, like 40 million or something. Let's just go for 35 million. 35 million, why not? Let's just see what they say. Okay, 37. At least they didn't come back saying we want 50 million or they stormed out. So 37, I'm just going to be a bit cheeky and just take it down a little bit, you know, why not? Save as much as we can, and that is fine by them. Okay then, so contract negotiations, 48 million. That would be just enough to sign a striker, I feel, or a really good striker anyway. Of course, not replacing Haaland, but as another option. He will start a lot of games though. So Pavard, I think he has to be crucial. He has to be crucial. 4-year deal, I'll definitely take that. So he's committed. Release clause, who cares about that? Now, as for his wages, 49 1,000 a week. Not bad. 5 clean sheets. Okay, what I'm going to do is up that a little bit. Just to 10, because why not? And just because of my OCD, I'll bring that down to 45, because that just winds me up. But he'll probably reject that, won't he? No, he's happy with that. Benjamin Pavard, our first signing of the season and episode. What a big name. That is brilliant. We have had McKenna since the championship. It is very harsh on him, to be honest. He still will get a lot of game time, I feel. Still going to be our number 5, but he's the unfortunate one. And Mings is even more unfortunate. He's going to have to be dropped completely out of the team. So there we go. 285 rated centre-backs. Ribeiro, the only existing player probably that will keep his place. Then we've got Vinagre at left-back as well. Carvalho, like I say, maybe. We might be able to lose him. And Aarons as well. We still have Cash who can play there. And also, the great thing about Pavard, he can play at right back as well. That is brilliant. Now, I'm thinking of maybe getting another midfielder, but I don't want to lose Cash completely. I don't want to drop Vinagre or McKenna. So Cash is just going to have to act as a midfielder, unfortunately. Pavard then, what number shall we give Pavard? I know a lot of people thinking, well, why is it so important? Well, it's just one of my many things that I like to have right, you know. I know he wears 5 in real life. I think he will took the World Cup. None of them available, so I'm going to give him his number. I'm pretty sure he had 21 at Stuttgart. And I know he's a big player, but there's no other numbers available. So yeah, I'll do number 21, Benjamin Pavard. I'll take that for sure. And just quickly looking at our board expectations for this season. The domestic success, they want top 4. Well, I'm pretty sure that will be the case. We finished 3rd last season, of course. Semi-finals in the FA Cup. Now, how pathetic is the continental success going to be? Because it always seems to go mad when you get your first season. They want us to reach the semi-finals of the Champions League in our first season of the Champions League for like 25, 26 years. They want the semi-bloody finals. This is why it makes no sense. Fix this, EA, please. Semi-finals. To be quite honest, I think that is actually achievable. I generally do, but I think in reality, it's very unrealistic. We've already looked at that financial. I never really bother with this. I just kind of let it happen. If it happens, it happens. And I know it affects your manager rating, but same for brand exposure. That's just, if you do well, that goes up. It's just easy. Youth development, sign 2 players with potential of over 75 and increase their points by 10. Don't know about that, but we could definitely try and sign 2 players with over 75 potential. Before we do sign a striker then, we'll just go through the preseason tournament. We'll go for our full strength team. Might be a bit of a bad idea that. 0-0 full time though against Ajax. Okay, so next game is against Atalanta in the preseason tournament. We drew our first game, of course. They lost their first game to Real Betis. We win 2-1. 2-1 win against Atalanta. Okay, so we are basically through in our group now. We've got 4 points from our first 2 games. Real Betis, come on lads, we can get a win here. 1-1 draw, that should be enough. It was always going to be a tough group this. I can't speak English. Offer for Wall from Crystal Palace, 8 million. I don't want to sell Wall. I don't. I want to keep as many actual players as we can. We're making the team even more realistic this season. But when it gets to this stage, you can't really do much about that. But Wall, I want to just keep him around. So we did go through Lyon in the preseason tournament. I forgot what we were in there. We win 3-2. Lucas Luiz and Gibbs White both because Haaland getting sent off. Okay then, so we meet again for a 4th time. Ajax in the final. We win 1-0. We get some revenge. Nowhere near as extreme, but we do still get some kind of revenge. 1-0 win. That is brilliant prize money. Okay, so that puts our budget up to 56 million. That is brilliant. That can definitely allow us to sign players like Abraham or Arap. We still don't have detailing on Arap though. Loan offer for one of our youth players, Murphy from Utrecht. I'm not going to use him, so we'll just loan him out. No, Joe Wall, he can't go to Getafe. And yeah, Murphy has been loaned out, which is brilliant. Bowen, we have an offer from Florentina for 22 million. But like I said, if I'm going to sell anyone, it is going to be Jack Carvalho because he's linked with leaving in real life. And he didn't even do that well last season. 7 goals in like 40 odd appearances. Isn't that good? Okay then, it's time to find out who we've got in the Premier League. First game, I don't know yet. Let's see, Burnley. Right, so no one exciting. Burnley away at Turf Moor. At least we're going to go to a ground we haven't been to before. And in fact, play a team we've not played before. We've not played Burnley once. No, have we? What the bloody hell am I on about? We played them once when we beat them like 5-2. And we went behind as well. What am I on about? We're going to go to Turf Moor. I want to try and go to each ground, to be honest. Oh, okay. Our scout report back. 80 rated. Right. Okay. That is good. It is not absolutely insane. But I think for a backup striker, he wouldn't be bad. And he's more than affordable. He wouldn't cost as much as Abraham, which could allow us to sign someone else. Is Arab ready? Now, is he good enough for this level? Like, I know he's 80 rated. It ain't bad, and he's more than affordable. Abraham is affordable as well, though. I'm thinking, we have the money. Should we go for Abraham, who's already ready? But I feel that Abraham will want to play a lot more than Arab. Do I go for youth, or do I go for, well, still youth, but more experienced youth? Even though Arab was a suggestion in the comments, I am more excited about using Abraham, if we're completely honest. But Abraham will want to play a lot more. And because he got Haaland in front of him, it might be quite difficult to do that. Arab would be more of a acceptable backup striker, whereas Abraham is ready to start, really. Right, you know what? Let's take the risk. It's not really a risk, is it? Let's just go for Arab. Let's see what happens. Okay, 58 million. We've got more than enough to sign him. And we can get him for a very little amount. Let's just go for 23 million. A little bit more than what they said he is worth. 26. God's sake, man. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. We'll bring it down just to 24. Probably won't accept that again. Let's just see what they say. 26. Okay, let's just round it up then. Round it off. Let's just do that. Round it off to 26 million. Come on. If you don't accept that, thank you. Alright then, so I'm going to give him a rotation role. Is that going to wind him up? No, he's happy with that. 3-year deal. To be honest, I hoped he'd have more. I'm just going to give him 4. Hopefully he's fine with that, and he is. No release clause, because who cares about that? Don't care about that. Okay, so his wage is on 39,000 right now. This happened to me the other day. I signed a player who was on like 30 grand, and he wanted 100 grand. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. And he stormed out. I know I offered him like 60. It's mental, but anyway. I'm going to offer him 55,000 just to be on the safe side and offer that much. 31 million left if that goes through. Happy with that. Arap is in. Another signing, the brilliant signing. Okay then, so I think Arap could be a nice little backup player in case we need him. I might have regretted not going for Abraham, but I don't think I'm going to regret, to be honest. I think Arap is going to do a great job whenever he plays. And yeah, this team's looking very good now. I think apart from maybe getting a winger and potentially a goalkeeper, only one of them really, I think this team's looking very good right now. Alright, so his number. Again, I have to get this right. This really is quite brutal, but do I take Mounier? Do I take 9 off Mounier and give it to Arap? Even though Arap isn't our main striker, I think that he can't have 13. That just looks stupid. He can't really have 16. There's no other numbers available, really. So, it's brutal, but I'm going to take... he's being completely dropped. He's now losing his number. So, yeah. Okay, so our new number 9 is going to be Arap. I think this is going to suit him well. So, I'm going to leave it to you in the comments. Even though you would have suggested players in the last episode that I haven't been able to see yet, we can afford at least one more player with that money. One more player. Or do we leave it until January? Maybe we could do that. But I think we should, get one more player in. Either a winger or a goalkeeper. But it's a good job we signed another centre-back, isn't it? Because Scott McKenna out for 4 months. 4 months. So he's out until Christmas. That is brilliant. So Mings, you've still got your place in the team, mate, as it turns out. So then, to end the episode, play our first game of the season away at Turf Moor against Burnley. Get our first look at Arap and our first look at Benjamin Pavard. Of course, Pavard's going to be in the team a lot more than Arap now. Without McKenna, of course, so Mings is now upgraded to backup centre-back, and then Wall will be the next best. So yeah, let's just get into it. Burnley away on a Friday night. The first game really is the first game of the season. 4th of August. So then, Season 5 really does get going right here. The first game of many. Burnley away. I mean, it really isn't the most exciting start to the season, I'll be honest. And it's a bit of a shock to the system to Bavaria. They've gone from playing for Bayern Munich to playing at Burnley away. You know, it's not that glamorous. So yeah, our team, full strength, as always. As for their side, okay. Jesus Christ, you know that you're 4 seasons into a career mode now. Long. He's the only player I know there. And that goalkeeper is at Leipzig, I think. Gonzalez. Bloody hell. What has happened to Burnley? They've signed foreign players as well. Come on, lads. This could be a massive season. I think we're good enough to go for the title, go far in the Champions League and try and win a cup. Because last season was disappointing. We got to the Champions League, which is brilliant, but we won nothing, which is very disappointing. Haaland, Alenia, not bad. Plays it in. Gibbs White in the wrong position. Went for it. Saved. Go on. Haaland, 85 rated. Haaland. First goal of the season goes to Erling Braut Haaland. What a shock that is. Been all over Burnley and our superiority is showing now. Brilliant goal from Haaland. And yeah, that is... Can't really say much more than that, can I, to be honest. We're 1-0 up against Burnley. Greenwood. Mason. Come on, play it in. Jow! Is that time finishing, or is that just how bad Carvalho actually is? Because he's not been good this season. He scored genuinely, he's not even scored that many goals for us in this career mode. He really has not. Oh, Haaland completely outdid. That number 22 there. Haaland in on goal. Goes for it. Good save. Still got it. Haaland. Haaland went for it there. Greenwood could get it. We're absolutely bossing Burnley here. And it should be more than one. Easy. Nice. Greenwood. Ooh. Greenwood. I think he can prove to me this season, because this is the first season where he's going to be my main right winger. He's going to start every game. Most of them anyway. Unless... Well, no. Like I say again. If we do sign a winger, it will be on the left. So Greenwood, your time to shine, mate. Maybe you might have to be upgraded, but right now, I don't see the point. 1-0 at half-time. 2 Forest. As comfortable as it can get, really. Burnley have not had any attacks at all, really. Any proper ones. We've been all over them. And as expected, we are now getting to that level now where we can beat teams and dominate them like this. Haaland with the goal. Gives a white nice ball. Haaland. Haaland's in. Can he keep it? Can he go alone? Find space to pass to someone. Carvalho keeps it. It's just kind of died down now, hasn't it? Carvalho. Haaland. Turns. Actually, good save again. Good goal of this. But Gibbs White's in. Gibbs White for 2. Very nearly was. Comes back. Jow. Who's had, again, a very average game. I'm really starting to consider just selling him. Anyway, even if we don't get an offer for him, which we haven't had any yet, just put him on the bench. You might have to do that, because he just hasn't... I'm only playing him really for the sake of it, just because he's an existing player and he's 85 overall. He's not playing like 85 overall for quite a while now. He's never really stepped up, performed full on to his ability. Oh no. Do not, please. So that's their first real attack of the game, to be honest. Burnley swing it in. Cleared away by Kerala. Gibbs White. What the hell was that, mate? Get up. Come on. Clear the ball. Thank you. I mean, he's not going to get much time, but I'm going to give Arp his debut. It really is not going to be long at all. Vinagre can come on for Ribeiro. And Alenia off for Douglas Luiz. Greenwood. Arap. First touch with our new number 9. Loses it far too easily. He's not got much strength, as it turns out. I'm not going to doubt him just yet, though. 1-0. 1-0 win. I mean, quite a few teams win titles by winning 1-0, but that should have been more convincing than it was. But we got the win. That's the most important thing. And it was a 1-0 win against Burnley. And our manager rating is down to 69. Even though I've already won a game. And I've made 2 really good signings. Why is it down to 69? Palace away. I don't understand that. Come on, lads. Full strength team out there. We can go and get this done. Come on. Palace. 2-0 win. Excellent. Tonali and Greenwood. Alright, and so the next episode, it turns out that we have Wolves in the next round of the League Cup. So I'll start off by simulating both them games, unfortunately. It's a bit harsh simulating Wolves, but we're going to have to do that. Man City. We have not yet found out our Champions League opponents. Hopefully it will be soon. And I might even sim forward to see if we can find out. So in that case, I'll just simulate this game against West Brom then, because like I have to sim forward. West Brom, 2-1 win. Tonali and Carvalho. 3 straight wins. That's good. Turns out that the draw is after the Wolves game. And I don't know about you, but I want to find out. So I didn't want to simulate these 3 games, but we're going to have to do them all in this one instead of the next one. So, yeah, it turns out we win 2-1 anyway. Gibbs White and Greenwood. Rafa Mir, bloody hell, he scored a goal. All right then, Champions League's been drawn. We'll face Man City, and then who else will we face? Anderlecht. Dortmund. Oh my God, I didn't take that long to realise that. Dortmund and Valencia. Right, okay. Tricky group. Anderlecht, no offence to them, that should be a win, without a doubt. Dortmund. Right. I think if anyone's going to go through with us, if that's, of course, we have to try and go through. That is not an easy group. We can definitely go through, but it won't be easy. Dortmund. That'll be the biggest game yet. So what we'll do, play City, Anderlecht, and Chelsea. So, yeah, I'm a bit annoyed about the way the fixtures are laid out, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. But there we go. Next episode, we'll kick things off in the Champions League. Can we make it in our first season? Can we win it in our first season? Hopefully making at least 1 more signing. 2 more games in the Premier League. Don't care about any of this. Player injured, Jack Carvalho for 3 days. But there we go. Until next time, lads, like and subscribe to Reds Gaming, and I shall see you next time.